And we are live, everybody. We are live.
We live, baby. Yeah, baby. We live, baby.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your host, the wonderful, beautiful Kyra. I can't go on and on and on because, Barry says that I'll be doing too much
Nope, don't. Derek didn't say nothing.
um, for myself.
Don't do
So
that here.
um, I'm just going to call myself beautiful and amazing. And we are going to welcome our handsome co host, Mr. Derek Watson.
Y'all see that skin? That skin is coming through, thriving.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, somebody. See what good living would do for you.
Yeah, I can't stand you. And then we have our other co host, Mr. Justin Rucker.
Hi. Let's get this show on the road.
You all right today, Justin?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I hope everybody is having a great day today. Um, I know I am. I had a great day. I had a great weekend. I had a great everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she said she had a great everything.
Hmm.
You know what, Terry? Don't start with me today.
I'm not. We ain't gonna have no problems. I don't need no phone calls.
There will be no beefing today on the show. We're gonna
Hmm.
keep
I'm no phone calls
we're gonna
whatsoever.
keep it clean today. And
Hmm.
Justin don't want to be a referee, right, Justin?
Hell no.
Justin was up in there like, can we all just get along?
Word. After a while, I was just like, I ain't saying nothing else. It ain't gonna change nothing.
It's like it's over. It's over. It's over. That's it. It's all good though. It's all love. It's all love. But anyway, today
Mm-hmm.
our topic is work husbands and work wives. The work spouses. Um, and I think we all know exactly what a work spouse is. But just to clarify it and put it into layman's terms,
Cause she
a
did her
work
research.
that's right. A work spouse, husband or wife, is a coworker with whom one shares a special relationship, having bonds similar to those of a marriage. That is the definition. Hey, Robert. That is the definition of a work spouse per the dictionary.
That is the definition. Hey, Robert.
Who is that watching the show and they got their thing on mute? Because it ain't me, because I ain't even on it yet.
It ain't me.
Is that Justin Rucker?
There's only three of us.
Yo.
Yes.
Oh no, nah. I muted it. My bad.
Case of elimination. So that's
Got
basically what our
stitches.
topic is. Our topic is whether or not work spouses are interfering in a person's relationship. Is the work spouse the competition? Let's talk about
Yeah, let's talk about that.
it.
Okay. Derek.
First, what happened?
So
Derek.
what is actually the topic? What's the actual question? What are we talking about?
The
Just them in
question is,
general?
are relationships endangered due to work spouses?
Very
That's
much
what I
so.
said. What?
Hmm.
Hey, Shima.
If you are not,
Whoa. Wait,
huh?
before we get into it, just to let anyone know, if you want to um actually be part of the podcast and come on and say your comment, whatever, you can hit the link on the bottom of the screen that I'm about to post right now, and then you'll be able to come into our waiting room, and then I will allow you to come on to the show for your comment. All right, go ahead, Derek.
We must know that if we are not careful, work relationships can bleed into home and cause confusion. That's all I have to say.
Why it sound like you just read that?
It was my. I told you I'm not gonna have no.
I was saying that.
We're not having no drama today. So I'm not. I'm giving.
So you say it.
I
So
pre-wrote
you
everything
say it
out.
like you just graduated from Hooked on Phonics.
I
We
pre-wrote
must
everything.
understand. Life goes on, and it is a
There's not going to be
continual
an issue.
journey.
There's not going to be a problem. The only way
I
it's going to be
pre-wrote
an issue
everything,
or
and I
problem
emailed
is
it,
if
He pre-wrote
you
everything. He
make
got a
it
and
an
I
script.
issue or a problem.
and I emailed it to everybody so y'all can read what's coming. Did y'all get
You
it?
ain't email me
All
nothing.
right. So I just want to lay these little couple of, hey, Natty, Nat, Patty, Pat. I just want to lay some of these facts out that, of course, my researching behind had to do. Um, and basically, what it says is that the research states that 25% of workers have had a work wife or work husband at some point in their professional career.
Mm.
Um, the survey indicated that 48% of women and 41% of men have had work spouses at some point.
Okay. All right.
So
Um.
that's one survey. And this is the second survey. And it says that it was a 50% of employees with work spouses admitted to having romantic attraction to their work spouse. 84% was men, 60% was women.
Run those numbers back by me again.
84% was men,
81%.
64% was women.
These niggas out
84
here whipped.
and 61 were women.
Completely
Reported that they
understand that
had
makes sense.
romantic attraction to their work. So, therefore, first of all, you just got to get into why do we get work husbands and work wives? Have you ever had one, Justin?
Honestly, no. Um. I mean, there have been. I just don't want to shit where I eat, man. Because if something happens, something go down, I need to maintain my professional environment. My professional environment got to be professional. So I never like. There's always you'll see somebody you think is attractive, but I never really acted on it as much because I just ain't want to deal with the bullshit that come with it. Especially where I work, it's too many Well, where I've worked in the past, there's too many personalities. So no, I have not had a work wife. I have not had a significant other work with me.
No, but the work wife is in a relationship. The work wife is supposed to be
Oh yeah,
a.
yeah. For lack of a better term, I never had a work wife.
It's supposed to be a platonic relationship. Your work
Oh
wife or
Lord.
There we
husband
go
is
with that shit again.
not
But the
supposed to
point
be a sexual
for
thing.
for a man, for gentlemen, um, work wives are normally things of this is someone that I'm attracted to, but because I'm in a relationship or because I've been friend zoned, then work wife or work wife or work husband are normally put in place. You very rarely hear in a workplace, oh, that he's like my brother. They'll say, oh yeah, that's my work husband.
Really?
So that means that he's caring more about, like, he's making sure you got lunch. He's making sure, like, this is your lunch partner. This is the person that you joke with. But for most females, they don't see that guy romantically. Um, when no, let's correct that. They don't see that guy romantically when it's a matter of the man pursuing or engaging in this quote unquote uh relationship.
You know,
Hmm.
When a female, on the other hand, engages in a relationship, it's because she finds him attractive and she knows that he has a boy a woman, but um she's making sure he understands that she's somewhat interested.
Hmm.
So it's like it's two
when
different
you in
cards
a
being played here
relationship,
when you look at it on the man side and the female side. Most men is like, okay, they're wondering if they try something, would it be received? But they're not going to pursue it or they're not going to push it because they don't want to be out there, especially because the female knows that they have a significant other. Where most females are a lot smarter than us and they do stuff a lot smarter than we do. So females like, okay, they'll make themselves available or make themselves let it be known like, okay, if you with it, I'm with it. But I ain't gonna do it because I ain't gonna be that I'm not gonna initiate the grinding. Now if you want to disrespect your relationship, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Hmm. Cat.
yes, Justin.
Your thoughts?
Yes, Justin, I can assist you today.
Your thoughts?
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts on
What do you
on
think of
what I think about a work wife?
yes?
I think it's bullshit.
Why you think
That's my thoughts on it. Because I think that it really I don't understand the term work wife or work husband. And if that's the case, you're just my bestie. We having lunch together, we chilling, we talk and stuff like that. But we both understand ain't no relationship, ain't nothing gonna come of it. Then you do have some that wind up becoming a sneaky link, but that winds up being messy. But for me personally, I try to stay away from that. If I'm cool with you, I'm cool with you. But you don't get no title work wife. You just hey cat from the human resources department. We cool. We eat lunch every day. We chill. We talk or whatever. But you ain't my
why
work
gotta be
wife
part of this? Why gotta be part of the example?
because you a host.
I'm
Because it ain't
saying
gonna
I
be
don't want to
Derek
be part of it.
from human
It damn sure ain't gonna be Derek from payroll.
resources.
Derek from payroll. That's my work husband. Hell no. Don't play like
You
that.
gotta, you gotta,
Derek cannot be my
you
sneaky
might
link.
say that you make up
Absolutely
a
not.
name.
Hey.
Well, me being me, I don't. I think that sometimes it's a whole bunch of different scenarios why people get work wives and work husbands. I personally feel like if you have a work husband, that's just somebody that you chill with at work. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go. Sometimes you may do breakfast, y'all may eat lunch together, whatever. But it's certain boundaries that you just don't cross. There's certain things that you just don't talk about with a with your coworker, even though you want to call him your work husband. It's just certain things you don't talk about with them, like your relationship. Um, it's and I think that's why people start getting romantically involved with their work wives or husbands because they want to talk romantically and tell their business to that person. And if that
Mm.
person decides to have feelings, then of course they're going to make you feel a certain type of way because they like you. And since you sitting up there telling them all your business and how you got trouble in your relationship, what else they gonna do?
But that go with any situation. You ain't even gotta
Right.
be a work wife or a work
They
husband.
should be
Like if
bringing
you got somebody that you cool with that's a member of the opposite sex and y'all talking and you spilling the beans and you talk about how it's trouble in paradise, especially coming from a woman to a man gonna figure out how to if he attracted to you, the man gonna figure out how to wiggle his way in there, just like a woman is. So I mean that
yeah,
I wouldn't consider that to be
but you're still giving somebody ammunition to do it. You get it's just like
yeah, but
giving the
right.
bullets to fire.
But I wouldn't consider that to be a work wife or work husband. I just feel
You
like that
shouldn't.
other person is an opportunist. They like you. They might want to hit, you know, and well,
And that's understandable too,
so,
but you're still giving them that ammunition for him to feed off of.
of course
Absolutely.
because
That's
you're
what I'm
telling all
saying.
your
It's
business.
something exactly, and that's something that you shouldn't be telling your coworker because at the end of the day, that's your coworker. You
You
should
shouldn't be
not be
telling
bringing.
anybody.
You shouldn't be bringing your work husband or your work. You should be bringing it home with you, and you shouldn't be
Right.
bringing
Well,
personal
you shouldn't be
into your
bringing it to
job.
work with you because if
So
there is trouble in paradise,
it
like
ain't nobody
going to
business.
work to talk about it is not gonna fix the situation at home. In
Not at
fact,
all.
it's gonna bring somebody. It's gonna make you have some temptation, especially if you have this quote unquote work wife or work husband, because you're gonna run to that person and tell them what's going on, and now the fuse is lit. Because if there is an attraction, it might lead to you two acting on it, and then it could either go two ways. You could either be a sneaky link, or it could blow up in your face. And if it blow up in your face, then you run the risk of fucking your job up.
But that's exactly why it's when I say you have to be careful. Any kind of relationship that you are producing at work, you are you are making a emotional tie with someone. And because you're making an emotional tie, you have to be careful with those emotional ties because life is not life is not all cookies and milk. So you're gonna run into those problems at home, and then you begin to give work as an outlet. This person,
Hmm.
you're
Well, see,
sitting
I
there,
used to use work as an outlet anyway.
but that's why you have to be careful when you're talking about, especially when you're bringing in opposite sex, people of the opposite sex into that equation. Um,
Yeah, I can
it
see
doesn't.
that.
That's where you come into emotional cheating, have an emotional relationship with somebody because you have already connected with them emotionally, and now you're caring more about their emotions and what's going on with them. So
That's
it could
that's
be
how that's how entanglements start.
right because though it doesn't always have to uh end up as a sneaky link or something sexual. It's just something it's just something that's not healthy for a relationship or a marriage because when your husband or your wife is supposed to be your everything. They're supposed to be that person that connects with you, that you connect with. Uh, so and there's nobody else that's supposed to sit in that position. So when you have another outlet to sit in that position, now you're not so game to come home and fix your problem because now you're working your problem out with the other person with that other outlet. So it's no longer let me go home and talk about this and figure this out. Now it's okay. I don't need to talk about it with him. because I'm not feeling him. I'm talking it over with him or her,
Hey,
because
Ivory.
and they're always going to be that person who they're your work spouse is always going to be that person that gives you, very rarely is going to tell you you're wrong.
Mm.
Most of them are going to be your yes people. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, if I was that
That's the
person,
number one quote when it's when you in like a situationship like that with when an acquaintance.
right?
Oh, that's crazy.
Those relationships become yes people. So you have to
Those
be
are the
very
ones that only say what you want to hear.
right. The yes people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I'm hope I never had to work nothing because I'll tell you this. I ain't guessing nobody did that. But I mean, I agree with you. I agree with what Derek is saying to a certain extent. Um, I just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just think that it's just have your boundaries when you know you have to have boundaries when you doing shit like that. You just and that's my biggest thing. Like, don't bring your personal
Right.
business into your workspace because whatever issues, problems, situations that you're having with your spouse or your significant other, whatever, um,
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you should be working out with them, not with the dude at work or the woman at work, because that's how people get into fights and arguments. And that's how your husband or your man ends up coming to your job beating the hell out of somebody because
Right.
he's your work husband or wife and he don't like it.
Mm.
And then you're creating this toxic environment at home, because now he's the bad person. I can't believe you came to the job and did this. So I can't believe you embarrassed me at my workplace. No, you're embarrassing me in your workplace when you're starting these relationships with these people. And
Telling my business.
right,
Mm-hmm.
like I had a I don't want to say she was a work wife, but I found myself involved in a emotional relationship, and it was definitely uh, a driving reason or a driving force later on in the breakdown of my marriage. So I never cheated. It was never it was strictly a platonic thing, but it didn't help it did not help um how it made my wife feel, knowing, because my wife knew very much of her. I spoke about her a lot. It wasn't like she was like some kind of sneaky link or somebody on the side. They knew of each other. Rose knew of her. So it was like this whole she knew that I was caring too much about her emotional stability than I should have. So then it came when me and her was not feeling on the greatest terms. I was caring more about me and my work wife, my work wife's stability, her mental stability, instead of worrying about what's going on at home. So that's
Mm.
why you have to be very careful. And as Kat said, you have to make those put those boundaries in place so that you don't find yourself worrying more about one person than the next.
I could
Exactly.
dig that.
This
I could.
person
I can
doesn't this
understand that.
person doesn't bring me a certain level of stress, but this person does at home. So when I come to work, it's like, okay, a breath of fresh air. Oh wow. And then you find yourself, if you're not careful, you can find yourself in a situation where you're sitting there wondering, why didn't I meet you before I met? Because the grass is always greener on the other side.
Or at least
Hell
you
yeah,
think,
You
because
think.
that shit fake.
because they
That's why
painted
it's
it
fake,
green.
because that shit is fake. Um,
It's turf.
so it is what it is with that one. But I absolutely agree with that. You will find yourself in some sticky situations, You're gonna keep going home, bringing your work wife or your work husband home. And some people at times use it as a punchline too. Like people go home and they be like, "Oh, my work husband did this and my work husband did that," just to get a reaction out of their
Mm-hmm.
man to see what he gonna say or see what he gonna do or whatever. And
Then
that's
when he
not
go
cool.
off on your ass,
But you are definitely playing a dangerous
Yeah,
in dangerous
word,
territory.
you certainly are.
yeah. But I think that people get those type of relationships because I mean we all work and we all have had and we all have coworkers that we talk to or deal with. I work in healthcare, so I work around a bunch of women. So it is very kinds of rare to have a man in our environment where well with the work I do. So I ain't got a work shit. I got coworkers. But when I did work with other dudes and stuff like that, um, at a previous job, I could say we was cool. But even though people used to think we was dating, we was messing around, because like we used to always hang around each other all the time. They even said that one of my kids belonged to him at one point. So
Jesus.
Damn.
I got a whole husband, and y'all sit up here talking about that this is my baby daddy. But okay, so rumors start, and literally, it was just a straight up friendship. That's all it was. We only saw each other at work. It wasn't like he called me at home. He was texting me at home or anything like that. We was just straight cool, but only at work.
Hmm.
And it wasn't like nothing crazy going on. That it's just that we hung around each other all the time, and we would have lunch together or
Hmm.
whatever. And people took it and they ran with it.
Everybody
I
do too.
honestly thought it was fucking comical, but it is what it is. And I did make like I would come home and I would make jokes about it, not thinking that he was gonna take it seriously. And then all of a sudden, my husband used to just pop up at my job, just out of
Right.
the clear blue sky. He would just pop up like, "Oh, I bought you this, or I bought you that," and I'm just like, "Seriously, bro, it ain't even that serious. It was a
You don't think
joke."
it is. You don't think as a man, as a female, females don't think it's that serious. But men, especially a lot of men understand other men, and we know what we're supposed to be doing. Uh, we know that if we don't step our game up, another man can sneak in and do what we're not doing. Females understand it too, but it's like men are a lot more blatant, and it's a lot more pain that comes with it.
Deliberate.
Right,
Absolutely, it is, and that's why I stopped talking to him because I saw that it wasn't like he was bothered by it, even though he never said nothing. But you know when something bothering your person. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
I just stopped talking to him, like because once he started popping up at my job with the here go coffee and this and that, I'm like, okay, and I just stopped being around him as much or whatever because it bothered him. So it was what it was.
Because remember, too, mental. There's a whole different ball game when you are talking about with men. It's a whole different ball game because a man's men love differently, right? Than females.
Absolutely.
Females is a mental thing. It's mental stimulation. Is a
Hey, Mr.
mental
Pratt.
it's a mental connection that a female has with a man. So when a female says this is my work husband, there's a more mental connection there. And and understanding that all battles happen at the mind. If you take it down the head, everything else will follow. So it's only
Absolutely.
so long before this man is stimulating your mind before he starts to stimulate other things. If you're not careful, there's only so long before he starts to stimulate your mind and start to be that outlet to you mentally before you start to wonder what's happening physically. And if that's his goal is always going to be to get a mental connection, which is more like a hold on a female than it is anything else. Because when a man has a mental hold on you, you will do things for that man and won't even think anything wrong with it. You'll make every excuse in the world to do to or why you're doing what you're doing and not seeing there's a big deal with it. You begin to not even worry about what your husband is thinking or how your husband feels because it's not that big of a deal. You're being extra, you're doing the most. When he's not, you're just that other person has already taken a hold of you where so now you don't care so much about your person. And that begins the breakdown of that moral fiber. And then what happens is now your person is now you and your person are now even having more arguments and more fighting and more going backs and forths, which is pushing you further and further into the arms of this quote unquote work spouse, because now your peace is no longer at home, so now you got to find your peace at work.
Mm,
So
mm.
this is a very um sketchy game that we play when we do this whole work husbands and work wives stuff. And we have to be very careful, and we have to be mature enough to even to keep the respect there. No, you're not my work. Let's just say you're not my work wife. You're my friend. You're not my work wife because I only got one wife.
Right,
So there are
right.
going to be things. You're not my work husband because I only got one husband. And to
It's
add
very
to
important to make sure that we create those
It's
those
the labels
those
that you put on
boundaries.
it.
absolutely,
And
absolutely,
it's
because
just
if
the
you don't,
labels that you it's the labels that you put on it. When you start
right, but
Hmm.
labeling somebody a work
understanding
husband
that
or your work wife, that's
labels come
what
with certain
people
responsibilities.
Right.
Labels come with certain
exactly
responsibilities.
doing that.
So if I label you as a wife, then there are certain responsibilities. There's certain luxuries that you're being allotted because I'm allowing you to into that role. My
Hmm.
Mhm.
my if I have a wife, my wife is somebody I can walk up to, I can come up behind, I can scoop behind and hug her from the back, I can smack her butt, I can do all these
Oh
different
yeah, you
things.
don't doing none of that at work.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're not careful,
Yeah,
it'll
no.
I
be
used
the
to get my
little
butt
things.
smacked all the time.
Right, exactly. It'll be the little things that you don't even think so crazy. Cat, if someone has a relationship with you and they're cool with you like that, they walk up on you and smack you on the back or smack you on the butt. You're not turning around swinging on them unless you set boundaries saying don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like me, no, not if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I have my husband or whatever. Yeah, no, you're not doing that. We
Right, but that's where you
that,
have to be
you're
careful
not
because
gonna be
when those
walking up behind
boundaries,
me, touching my ass, and no, we're not playing like that. There ain't no play about that.
right,
That's just
you find yourself you start letting things go because of the relationship that y'all have. So if he comes up and like plays in your hair or plays on your neck or something, and then you start saying, "Oh, stop, that's my spot." So now he's doing it more often because now you have already let him know that that was okay, and you have given him to say, "Okay, this takes me to a certain place." We have to be careful of these things because these things are things that we allow once those relationships have been established. We allow those little things to happen, and we don't check them
absolutely,
because we don't think it's a
and
big deal.
that's why I said that
Exactly,
boundaries
Danielle.
always have to be set. Because if you allow it, they're gonna do it. They're gonna. You're absolutely right, Danielle. Some people will see as how far they can actually go with you, but um, that's why you have to set those boundaries. So they
Right. Because if
understand
you
and
don't set
know.
those boundaries, people feel like they have the license to do whatever they want.
Right,
And unfortunately, some people do have those intentions. Like you see, some people will go to work looking for a booty call.
right.
And if you don't establish those boundaries, if you don't, hey, look, we cool, we talk, we friends, but I got a whole wife at home, or I got a whole husband at home. If you don't establish those boundaries, you might get a little tipsy at the Christmas party and get a little nookie in your car. Just saying.
Not the Christmas party.
Understand? The Christmas party. The Christmas party be live.
The Christmas party gets especially them open bars.
What?
And the Christmas
St. Joe's
party,
Christmas parties.
at the Christmas party, you
Before I
should have
started
your
dating
nephew
my wife, St. Joe's Christmas parties was lit. Just saying.
You're absolutely right. It's those open bar situations that you find yourself in these crazy. You can put yourself in a crazy situation because now alcohol has given you that liquid courage, and now they are coming in and they're trying these things or pushing these things to a certain another whole level. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to be a bold ass person to try to push the limit with your man or your husband or whoever with you. You have to
but
be a
most people
special
don't.
ass person.
They be going to Christmas party by themselves.
Right? They don't bring they, especially women.
Or they single.
Most women don't bring anybody with them.
Facts. They get the freakum dress like 2 months before the holiday party. So, or they get the freakum dress that they wear in the summer. Yeah, the freakum dress. You know it's cut just right and they show enough booty. I'm going, what? Well, yeah, Cat, sometimes these women be scandalous.
I never went to Christmas. I didn't go to my Christmas parties. The ones that I did go to, my husband came. So,
right.
What I'm gonna leave him home for?
Those Christmas parties now. Okay, so Christmas parties are prime real estate for your
shenanigans,
your spice, because they price these things where you're not paying $150 for your spouse to come out, for you to come out with your spouse around a bunch of people you really don't want to be around. A lot of these times you go into these things just to show face and to say, okay, I'm here, so it doesn't seem like I'm antisocial. So
right.
You leave your spouse at home.
Exactly. No, I'm not leaving my spouse at home. I took my husband with me to the Christmas party. So
yeah, somebody does have to be the designated driver. It's called Uber.
One of my coworkers, her husband drives her to the event. He doesn't stay, but when it's time to come home, he shows up.
Pick her up.
He shows up, and he don't call before he don't call to let her know he's coming. He just shows up, and you pick up stuff the first couple of times, but after the first couple of times, you're like, okay, I see, and it makes all the sense.
For me, it doesn't bother me to bring my husband with me to events and stuff like that, because why would it? Like, if I talk to, like, people know that I'm married and they know that I talk about my family, female or male, whatever, I'm taking him. I'm introducing him. I'm letting y'all know he does exist.
So, he said, I'm not lying when I'm talking about
He's real. He's real. I promise.
Huh?
He's real. I promise.
He's real. He exists. Let's go, honey. Even if we don't stay that long, I'm letting you know this man exists. Don't ever think he don't, because he do. So, if y'all, no work husbands here, because that's the husband right there.
Yeah, but some people don't look at it like that. Some people don't do that. I think one of the big issues I had in when it came down to the breakdown in my marriage, one of the biggest things was the fact that I tried to keep my home life separate from my work life. So therefore, when we had these events, I did not bring my wife around because I wanted to keep the two separate. And that proved not to be a healthy choice at home, because that leaves her at home feeling some type of way and wondering, okay, who's there that you don't want me to be around?
Absolutely.
Right.
There was nobody there because everybody at the job knew that I was very much married. They knew I was very much married, and they knew I had a lot of kids, and I spoke very highly. I spoke very highly of my wife when I was at work. So they knew that I had a wife. They knew who she was. they saw her because she would pick me up from work. It was just you don't need to be in that situation. You don't need to be in that environment. And because I felt like you didn't need to be in that environment, it caused a lot of conflicts at home that spewed into okay, I don't need to even more. I don't need you to be at my job.
That's right. Because that's gonna make. Because I know if my husband did not take me with him to work events like little work parties and stuff like that, at least once or twice or a couple something, I'm gonna be like, why I can't go? You have to give me a
Shit.
reason why I can't go.
Shit.
Like, what you doing over there at the party that I can't go? What I'm not
Right.
supposed to
Work
do.
events, political
So
events. I got my arm candy with
now
me.
that's when you're gonna start seeing my neck swirling, and I'm getting dressed and I'm still coming to the party. I may not be
Okay.
coming with you, but I'm gonna damn sure be at the party.
Like that
I'm
is.
not because I want to see what the hell going on. Don't make me have to cut you at work.
Shit.
But that's why it doesn't
No,
pay
that's
even
a joke,
have
guy.
these.
I would never.
Yeah, no, we know you choose violence, but that would
All the time.
that's why it doesn't
All the time.
that's why it doesn't pay to even get into these type of relationships at work. Keep if you're gonna keep work at home, that's what you do. And if you're gonna introduce home to work, you introduce it vice versa. I introduce it I introduce it at my my home to work. I don't introduce work to home.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's where the confusion and the nonsense happens because a lot of times we begin to introduce work to home. So we are we are coming into a situation and these people we're picking this one person and we're saying that
Shaniqua, you crazy.
this person is the let me tell you about what's going on at my house. And now this you giving this person ammo, like and especially with females, because females are smart. Females will see you coming in the house, you coming in and you eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch or something, and they'll show up with the biggest dish um of they can find. They'll bring you macaroni and cheese, yams, because they're gonna solidify their role
ASAP.
ASAP. They're gonna be like, hey, listen, she not feeding you. Let me
I
make sure.
got you. Let me take care of you.
Right, I'll make sure. I gotta make sure my work husband eat because I don't know what's going on over that house. You want me to talk to her? Because I'll talk to her. You be like, nah, you good. And you have to be careful of the situations that introduce this into your life because it happens so smoothly you won't even realize, oh snap, it happened. Be careful of someone you find it out, you seeing someone you like, dag, you may paying attention to people's lunch. I come into the lunchroom and I see somebody's potato salad. And I'm like, oh snap, you made potato salad? Oh, I love me some potato salad. And the next thing you know, you get a Tupperware on your desk of potato
Uh-uh.
salad. Be careful of those events. No, I
Listen.
don't even. You don't even know. You don't even need to at work. You don't even know what's my favorite dish. I learned
I'm
that
gonna eat the potato salad and then be like, my wife makes better.
now.
That's how you fix that.
Or you say, did you bring enough? Did you pack enough so I can bring it home to my wife?
I wish you
But that's
would.
not smart either. Don't bring no food home from another woman.
That should be in the
Nope. That's why I
garbage.
said I'd eat it and be like, oh, my wife makes better.
Like I had a friend who was a caterer. So she used to bring when I was doing another podcast, she would bring food to the radio station um for everybody to try out because she was trying to get her business out there and she was working out recipes. So I never ate at the radio station. I would always take a plate and I would bring the plate home to share with my wife. And I learned the hard way that still wasn't a good idea. You know,
What the hell is wrong with you?
because I'm thinking that's the safest thing to do. You don't if I'm coming home to a meal and I'm bringing a plate home like here, babe, this was at the radio station. that's going to make her feel some type of way because now it's like I'm not feeding you or I'm not taking care of you, and you have to be
Mm-hmm.
very careful of that whole idea of to another female that your person is not taking care of you.
That shit go in
I
the
don't
garbage.
I don't play with food. First of all, when you have a woman that love you, and then you have a Latina that all they want to do is feed you, I'm very particular with food. Crystal would get mad at me at times if she cook and I'm not hungry or my stomach is hurting and I really don't want to eat. Well, I cut, da, da, da. So I just you got to be careful with that food thing. You got to be careful with that food thing. So now I
Food,
learned if
food
she
is gonna
cook,
get trouble every time.
eat that. Shut the hell up and eat.
Right.
Hmm. But she's
Absolutely.
understanding though. She understands if my stomach not feeling right or if
For
I'm
any
not really
man
hungry.
that is watching, please don't bring another woman's cooking home with you because
Yeah, I
that
ain't
shit
never did no dumb
straight
shit. The only
in the
cooking
garbage.
that's coming home with me
Is
to
going
this
in the
house.
garbage.
No, it's not. The only female
And
cooking that's coming home with me is my mother's.
Yeah,
you got to
that's
be
fine.
careful with that.
Nah. See,
Nah,
they
that's
got a
fine.
good relationship.
That's fine. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with having the work husband wife. I don't like the label, but if you have a coworker that you just cool with and it happens to be the opposite sex, I don't think anything is wrong with it. Just have your boundaries and
Right.
don't allow those boundaries to be crossed. You can have it and have your friend or whatever. Just don't cross the boundaries. That's my thing. That's my only thing. Because I think
Definitely.
people can be friends of the opposite sex, but women ain't stupid either. Like when somebody coming at you, you're not dumb. So you want it. If somebody is
Men
making
do tend to be oblivious though at times.
We are. We're very oblivious. If we don't see
So
stuff like how you
sometimes we don't see it coming like right at us. So you
seriously,
kind of
real talk.
honestly, I I had a female that I knew for a very long time, and when I started dating Crystal, straight up, they met or whatever, and she looked at her, and we went home that night, and she was like, "That woman wants you," and lo and behold, it was true, and I had no fucking clue because I could not see the signs. I
We don't
could
pay
not see
attention
the
to the sign.
signs. I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, "Yeah, this so and so, whatever. Hey, how you doing? Give me a hug," you know. But yeah, it was true.
It's very true,
yeah,
and y'all don't understand that.
okay.
That was one of the big reasons why I didn't. At one point, I stopped wanting to bring Rose to anything that had anything to do with work because she would literally, rather than us being there and having a good time, you're literally staring people down and watching interactions. And we can go home, and then you can tell me
Nah,
who wants me or something like that.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's some
like,
shit
and
I
Rose got the radar, dog. That's what it is.
that's some shit
Rose
I
really
do
got the
with hoes.
radar.
I'll be
and people
looking
and you don't want. And here's the thing: people do not. You do as a man, you do not want to be the conversation at work. You don't want to get to work, and it was like you saw, like it was too
So and
much of a
so.
joke. It was too much
Right.
of a joke on a regular basis. Like, oh yeah, you don't want to be around. You don't want to be around Derek because his wife don't play. You saw her. You saw her at such and such. You saw her at this. You saw her at that. And it was like, dag, you don't want to be. You don't want to be that person, and you definitely don't want to not be who you are at work when you get around. Like, I don't want. I don't want to come to work and feel like
you can
I'm
still
I
be
have I'm
yourself
shut
at
down or
work.
I can't be who I am.
Nah, he right. He right. You gotta
Oh, he
kind
can
of you
still
kind
be
of
he
taper
can still be
yourself off a
himself
little
at
bit.
work.
No,
Because
you
I
can't.
understand, like if you go to an event with your husband or whatever, and my husband, if I see him kiki and ha ha with one person a little bit too more, when he come back by me, I'm gonna be looking at him like, who the hell was that? And
Right.
I'm gonna give her a little looky look like, don't play with me. Because yeah,
Shoot.
a woman know when another woman want her man.
Hmm.
But y'all but
Shit. Let us
y'all
know
okay,
something.
y'all can know, But here's the thing: if we don't know, then we're not.
Don't
Then
hold it against us.
there's nothing that we. It's nothing you can. Right. You're not to hold it against us, and it's not something that we are acting on or we're innocent of. So if
Right.
once you put out there like, okay, this person this person wants you. Now the whole situation changes, and now it becomes this whole okay. I got to keep my distance, or I got to watch what I say and who I'm around, and then it takes away from the naturalness of who you are as a person.
Okay, but then at what point do you realize that your work wife or your female co-worker got interest in you? When does it become? When does it go boom, bing? Oh, she really do want me, or she really do like me. Like
It
she
shouldn't,
got to be doing things to let you know that she want to be bothered with you.
but it should
Nah.
because if we get to a point where we are being disrespectful, um,
Oh
you're
shit.
being
Miss Lemon
Shanique
said,
was telling
"Devil,
on you.
blame her because you are a big flirt." Just
okay,
saying.
Miss Lemons. Calm on down.
Mm, I don't know.
Um,
I
and that's
never
the
get
problem. Everything is not flirting. And everything is not being a flirt. Everything, some things you're just if you are just a if you're just a nice person, or you tend to just be Mister Mister or Mrs. Congeniality, that'll make you a flirt. But the other person often comes off as like, okay, you're flirting. Um, and sometimes you're not flirting. Sometimes it's not anything about a flirt. If I see cat and cat cute, I can't say, oh, okay, cat, you cute, because now I'm flirting. No, that's not the case. Now, if I'm sitting there looking at you the whole night and I'm like, ooh, cat, you making me feel
Damn.
you making me feel all types of warm on the inside. Now, that's flirting, and now it's being blatant.
That's a pickup line.
But
I
that's
gotta
but,
write that down.
but that's my thing. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all say y'all don't be knowing when a woman is interested in y'all. But when does it become when will it become obvious that this person that you work with likes you? Not
Oh,
just at
Sometimes,
one.
it happens
They have
gradually,
to touch
but
you.
the
What's
little
gonna make
subtle,
y'all
the
understand
little
that
subtle
somebody
shit,
works?
we don't pick up on that right away.
right?
What's subtle? What's subtle?
The compliments, maybe like little things, like stuff like compliments, little innuendos here and there. We don't pay attention to that. It's not until it becomes exaggerated, then we look like, oh, okay, this is, yeah, this is going in the wrong direction.
Because
That's when
most times it's hard to read a situation, and men
really
we misread situations. So we could be thinking like, oh, this person want me, and that person not interested in you at one bit.
right, and then
They're
you
not
looking
thinking twice
stupid.
about you, and you sitting there looking stupid. So rather than if she's not coming out blatantly throwing the panties at you, there's never going to be a time when you realize, oh snap, this
Right,
person wants me.
exactly, exactly, and for men is really a fine line. It's flimsy because you really don't want to be put out there looking like a dummy.
Right,
Like, yeah, this chick wants me. Like, she'll drink my bathwater. LOL. But and then chick don't want nothing to do with you. She just being
nope.
nice.
Right, she was just being nice, and now she's laughing at you, and everybody else at the job laughing at you. Like, you know who thought he had nerve to come at me trying to shoot a shot? She was like, but I thought you felt the way I feel. I thought you was feeling some type of way, so I just wanted to see what's up. No, I wasn't. No, thank you.
And I
And
just
now
want
you're
Word.
to
sitting there
I
looking
just want
stupid.
to
Then
put
your ego is done.
I just
Right,
want to put this little birdie out there. It may not always be true, but when you do things at work, sometimes you have to be careful what you do at work because you never know who know who. That's just in life, period. But
Mhm.
sometimes people know your wife or your husband,
Right.
you know, they like to run back and tell it and be like, oh, such and such is doing this at work. Oh, such and so sometimes you still do have to be careful what you do because you don't never know if somebody know that person or not. And then
right.
you
The
be
world is
wondering,
way too small.
yeah, then you be wondering why all of a sudden Your wife standing in front of the door waiting for somebody. She ain't there for you, but she looking for somebody.
Right. Absolutely.
So be mindful of the things you say to other people.
Right.
Because the devil is everywhere and they will run back and tell it because they looking at your spouse while you looking at your work husband or wife. So I'm just saying, why
I'm just saying.
boundaries?
Now
Boundaries.
set those boundaries and make those
Yeah.
boundaries mean something.
Right.
Hell yeah, because I'm telling you, I
And
fear.
be disciplined too. If you really committed to your significant other, then establish
Respect
those
your, it's
boundaries
just
and
respect your relationship.
respect them. Yeah, respect them.
Respect your relationship, respect the person that you're with, and don't allow someone to be disrespectful to you or your relationship. It's just
Right.
that simple. It's not
Mhm.
mathematics. It's not hard. People do that shit because they want to do it. If you go over a certain line or you go over a certain boundaries and y'all end up in some type of romantic sexual relationship, that's because your ass wanted it. Point blank, period.
Right.
Absolutely.
The devil didn't make you do it.
Sure
You wanted it
happened.
the whole time.
You wanted that opportunity the whole time, and then you decide to act on it.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. So
Right.
your work husband is really your sneaky link. And you think you're getting away with something because you're doing it at work.
Because it makes it
And
convenient.
yeah, that's all. But
You
just be
you
respectful
have to
and
be
respect
careful.
yourself.
You got to be
Shit.
careful of any relationship that you're cultivating that's outside of the relationship, your main relationship,
Absolutely.
because those feelings and those emotions happen quickly, and they sneak up on you. And next thing you know, like I said earlier, once that whole mind thing is taken into, once that mind thing happens, it's pretty much a wrap. And you're sitting here trying to fight it, and especially when nobody's relationship is perfect, and
Absolutely not.
it's when those imperfect relationships surface that these perfect relationships look like something that's so admirable. And it's like you have to understand that this person has no ties to you, so they have nothing that they have to hold. They don't have anything that they have to hold to you. So this person may look perfect, or this person may look ideal, because they don't have no skin in the game for you, so they
And
don't
they
have
don't.
to meet your expectations. And when you make that jump or make that leap and go out there and try to make this person something, and now you hold them to expectations, you find out that they're the same, they're no different than anybody else, is because they look they look more appetizing to you because you had no expectations attached to them.
Absolutely. Everything always looks better when you ain't really in it until
Right.
you until you start eating that forbidden fruit.
I don't even like fruit.
We've been in you find yourself in situations where,
I don't
especially
even like fruit.
especially when you are dating, now that you're out here in this dating world, where you go after, when I first began the whole dating process, um I found myself going after the people who I thought I had these connections with. They were these amazing, so out when, because there were no expectation on them, they were these amazing women. And then you go out with them and realize that there's nothing amazing about them. It was just the mental thing, the mental idea of who they are. But then when you find out who they really are, you be like, yeah, I should have left that person in my fantasies.
Absolutely. You don't really know somebody until you know.
Right.
Right.
But y'all, please just don't be having it. Just let's start taking away the work husband wife label and call it what it is. It's your coworker, and
I never
that's
had it.
and
And it's
that's
inappropriate.
they're your
I
coworkers.
done played that shit.
It's your coworker, and if you building a personal, private relationship with them, is inappropriate. It's not.
Please
That's
don't.
why jobs have those. That's why
I
jobs
just
have those
can't
things
crap
in
where I
place.
eat. I just can't crap where I eat.
Right.
I am a
Some
professional.
people don't have a
Like,
problem with it, and but if you do, I mean, sometimes, like I said, sometimes coworkers they make your time go past a little bit faster, and that's all cool and dandy. But leave it at a professional level. Don't ever go over that boundary and start with the flirting and the innuendos because it doesn't do anything but cause problems in your real life. I gotta come look at this nigga in his face relationship. So just don't do it. Don't allow those boundaries to be crossed. Period.
So flipping Lutely.
That's simple. Because then you're gonna get a chick like me that's gonna be standing outside with a baseball bat, tearing up your shit because you fucking with my husband.
She always
then you going to jail, and then the cycle
And
continues.
always
things
choose violence.
happen. It becomes toxic after that.
That's too much.
So listen, it is what it is, and it's what it does.
Shit.
Start taking your wives to the Christmas party.
Right.
Every year.
Our hour is up. Our hour is up. And I thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for viewing and joining the conversation with us. We now learned that Derek is a big flirt.
Derek
Um,
is not a flirt, and I don't appreciate that connotation.
we learn something new every day. We learn something new
Derek
every
speaks his
single
truth.
day.
If Derek thinks you're attractive, he has no problem telling you you're attractive. That's not me flirting. That's me being honest with you.
It's okay if you're a big
That's
flirt.
what you call it?
That's okay.
Well, honesty, that's what it is.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Would I
But
be
That's
flirting?
called
Here's the thing:
thanks for
if I come up to
doing
you and say, "Ooh, girl, you look a mess today," am I flirting?
yes.
that. No, you're being smacked.
Because she gonna follow up, she gonna be like, I'm a mess for you, Derek. Then that's it.
That's what you getting.
She
But
said
I
no
thank
because you getting
everybody
smacked.
for tuning in tonight. I appreciate y'all. Um, don't forget to like, comment, follow, share, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Oh, that's a lot. And TikTok. Because we on TikTok too. So I thank y'all all for joining us. I don't really have any last sayings because I'm just gonna keep saying it again and again and again. Boundaries, 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 boundaries.
Hmm. Boundaries.
Boundaries. The word of the night. Boundaries. Derek, do you have anything to say before we log off?
No, said enough.
Justin?
Boundaries.
There you have it. Boundaries, everybody. Boundaries. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless. Peace. You have a great week too, Miss Lemon. Many, many blessings, my love. Thank you for tuning in. So yes, everybody, y'all already know what I'm saying. Peace, love, and blessings. We'll see y'all next Tuesday, same time, same place. Ooh. And okay.